Good morning. Welcome to Presence of Light with Charlie Riverman Bergeron. I want to thank you all for being present here today, and know that today's talk is about inner simplicity and beauty. And it's been a strange, long week for me to arrive at those words to talk about. I'm sure that each of you who are watching on Humanity Healing have had many situations in your life this week which have brought you to anger or to fear or to tears. And this is part of our human suffering, as it's called. Lisa, good morning and welcome. Leonie, good morning and welcome. These processes that we go through in our daily life are really something that each of us can rise above. But we don't rise above it externally. We rise above it within ourselves. And so that's the theme of my talk today is, what is this inner simplicity and beauty? And can we really tap into it? As I prepared for this, as always, things come to me and articles, etc. The last thing I did this morning was I pulled a Course in Miracle card. I used to be a facilitator for the Course in Miracles years ago. It was one of my first spiritual teachings beyond the organized religions. Good morning, good evening. Yes, from South Africa, good evening. Nice to have you with us here. And the message was, God does not change his mind about you, for he is not uncertain of himself. When anything threatens your peace of mind, ask yourself, has God changed his mind about me? And if you think about that, we realize that our belief in a supreme creator, call it God, call it whatever you will, doesn't matter. But a creator being that has not only created us, it's created the world we live in, doesn't change its mind because of what we say, what we do, or how we act. It is always in love with us because we are part of it. So this week I was triggered by many different posts, political posts about children, posts about immigrants, posts about starving people, posts about people dying in floods and being murdered senselessly. And it really got to me this week. And I know that I don't tune into this. This is not my practice. I don't watch TV. I don't listen to the news. I get it because it's an ambient resonance in my life, but I don't tune into it. But all of this reached me this week. And it took me to a place of darkness within myself. And I pulled back. And I realized that pulling back is really the healthiest thing each of us can do, is to pull back away and come back to, as the title of today's show is, inner simplicity and beauty. And no matter what happens to us externally, there is a place within us that is simple and beautiful. And it's who we truly are. It's who we truly are in creation. Most of what happens is that we have been programmed to tap into everything outside of us. And everything that happens outside of us becomes a part of us. And as we incarnate and evolve, it resides within our DNA. There's a memory. There's a memory that's held in our DNA. And not only do we carry it in our own present embodiment, but we carry it from our ancestors and we pass it on to our future generations. This is becoming more and more evident as those who are studying DNA and memory are learning, and they'll reveal only so much because there's a part of it they don't want you to know. They really don't want you to know how you can break free from all of this, because they can use it to control you. And so we live in a world of control where others seek to control us for a variety of purposes, some quite benevolent and some not benevolent. This creates what we call negativity, a negativity that we can tap into, that overpowers us and takes us away from being who we truly are, and makes us focus on things outside of us, and makes us very reactionary. And as you can see in the world, we are very reactionary. People are quick to argue. They'll fight at the drop of a hat. They'll fight over a soccer game or a birthday party. There's just so much anger and so much frustration. And what it really is a disconnection. We've disconnected from that inner self, who is that child of God, who has not changed its mind about us. It cannot change its mind. It does not have what we call a mind. This mind, this ego self, is only a construct. It's a construct that enables us to function here in the third dimension. And it's trainable and it's programmable. And every time we bully somebody, every time we sexually molest somebody, every time we punch somebody or hit somebody, we program that mind to take that energy and do something with it. And most of us suck it in and hold it. And as a child, I was taught as a boy, boys don't cry. So I was not allowed to cry. When somebody beat me up, I couldn't cry, because if I cried, I was a sissy. And I carried that with me my whole life. I cry all the time now. I cry over joy now, which is wonderful. This is the transition that each of us need to do, is come back to that inner simplicity and beauty and allow ourselves to feel this. The suffering is all about the ego self. It isn't about the true self. It's a form of self-centeredness. So when we accept that we're suffering, it doesn't mean it's not happening. It's a word that explains what we feel. But to truly suffer is really impossible. And I'm going to say this again. To truly suffer is impossible. We only suffer because our mind recognizes what's going on around us and creates this energy that makes us feel the suffering. I'm not dismissing your suffering. I'm not dismissing your sorrows. I'm not dismissing anything that you feel. And I want to be perfectly honest about that, because it's natural. It's natural for us as humans to express that because of this ego mind that we have, this mind that's been trained and programmed to do that. My message is really, if we come back behind that, if that's in front of us, if that's here, who is it that's deep within us that can observe that suffering, that can observe all of this happening? And we get there through meditation or just by pulling ourselves back out of the energy field around us. And it doesn't mean you go into a closet, although that would probably be a suitable place many days for me to go, is just go in a closet, shut the door, and just stay in the darkness. But what I'm trying to say is there's a place within you, within your heart, that's much like that, but it's much better because it's who you truly are, who you truly were when you were born, truly who you are when you were in your mother's womb, before you came out, before you saw, before you breathed, before you understood where you were and what you were doing here. There's a place you can return to, and it exists in your heart. And that's part of the process of tapping into your spiritual self and going within and allowing that to grow larger and larger and larger, and tap into that and learn to trust it. So the question for me this week was how to step in and out of this without applying labels of judgment or worth or value to what I was feeling. And many people who saw me this week said, wow, you can actually get angry. You can really, and they saw me in a way that I don't usually express. And while I was doing that, I could accept that that's what I was doing. And I said, yeah, I am just like everybody else. I'm not this super hero, so to speak, that everybody thinks that I am, because that's how I've chosen to express myself in my truth. But there are moments when even I have to think about things, and I'm not too happy with what this thinking mind does with it. I came across an article this morning and I posted it, and it was by a woman, Reverend Cynthia Briggs. And I'm just going to read a couple of things from it. Probably the beginning of her article and the end of her article. But she says, "The meaning of life is to remember who we are and to live from the depths of our true being, including who we are in relation to each other and in relation to God, or the beloved, the divine, feminine, masculine, or ultimate reality, whatever name you choose. This is an I, we, thou reciprocal relationship." And when I read that, I said, how perfect. That's what I'm feeling, that this woman can express what I'm feeling and that I'm going to talk about today. And she also at the end writes, "For me, the meaning of life is the path of the heart and of service. This is why we are here. In practice, this means a commitment to keep working on myself, growing toward wholeness, while inwardly remaining in a constant remembrance of the divine and outwardly engaging in loving, compassionate service in the world." And my beloved brothers and sisters, this is what we're here to do, and this is who we are. And when I read that, I said, how perfect. Thank you, angels and guides, for feeding these words to me, as I know that I'm going to express this to the greater world today. For me, my change in everything became activated through what's called a near-death experience. I now call it my death. And I don't have any problems with that terminology. But what it taught me was that there is a place of pure peace, pure light, and pure love. that is beyond human minds and beyond their capability to put into words or analyze the experience through rhetoric. I've spent the past 27 years, almost 27 years, trying to explain this to people. And I've had people ask me. And I refer them to others who have greater things to say about it. The only thing I can express to each one of you and everybody in the world is that if we could just for a brief moment tap into that, we would never be the same again. You would never look at life the same again. This is my experience, and this is what I feel that I'm here to share with people as a witness to the fact that I may not be able to explain it, but I know that it changed my life so profoundly that it sent me on a mission to let go of this suffering, to let go of this pain, and realize that it's an effect that happens, but I do not have to own it because it is not mine. It's like somebody hands you a hot potato and you grab it and it burns your hands. Well, did you burn your hands or did the hot potato do? The heat burnt it. This is what life does. It burns us. It wounds us. It only does it to us physically. And emotionally, it distorts it. Emotion is energy in motion. It will distort our energy in motion within our minds. And then that happens, we create false thoughts. We create false beliefs. We create all of these illusions, which the body's intention is so we don't have to experience that again. Well, you know what? We're going to fall down and skin our knees more than once in our lifetime. So when we build up this resistance and this anti-energy, what we do, we're caught in a game and we are no longer who we truly are. We're always playing the game. And the world right now is showing us by creating all this chaos, it's really demanding us to take a look inside. Who are you inside? Will the real you please stand up? We're all doing this. We're all at different levels. I'm no better than anybody else. Nobody's better than I am. Each one of us are going to do it uniquely. And it's beautiful. This is the beauty where each of us as co-creators can really help each other through this. And it's all about our inner simplicity. We're really simple. We're just love. We're just light. We're just a peaceful expression of existence. When you take all the external crap away, that's who you are. And I want you to think about that. I want you to find that you within you. You know it's there. I know it's there. And start to work with that. When the world gets too heavy, tune it out, go to a quiet space, meditate in any fashion that you choose. I'm not advocating any pathway except the one that makes you come home. Come home to your heart so that you can say, I love you, and mean it to a stranger. You may get slapped in the face, but that's okay. you'll know who to say it to, and you'll know who not to say it to. We're not going to get stupid all of a sudden. We're very highly intelligent beings. We've been made to believe we're stupid. We've been made to believe that we're less than somebody else. The person with $1 million is better than the person with 2 cents. The homeless are worthless. All of this garbage that we've been selling each other is a bunch of lies. And when you start to see the beauty in each other, everything will change. And it doesn't have to be done by an organization. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to pay money for it. You don't have to get on a soapbox and preach about it. Just every day, find somebody to smile at. See the beauty in somebody. See the joy in somebody. Recognize it as part of yourself. Their joy is your joy. Their love is your love. And if you're not seeing it, then ask yourself, where is mine? Where is my joy? Where is my laughter? Why am I hiding that from myself? Because these people are showing that to me. I can see the anger. I can see the frustration. I can see the pain. I can see that I want to kill somebody, and I have no problem relating to that. Do you? Think about it. You have no problem getting on the computer and typing on Facebook, blah, 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 about dissing on somebody or disagreeing with somebody. How many times are you typing on the computer? That was so nice. Thank you. Thank you. I love you. Bless you. Because what you give to others has to come through you. And if you're just not feeling it, tap in and say, why? Why am I not feeling this? And learn to forgive yourself and realize that God does not change his mind about you. Your parents may, your kids may, your brothers and sisters may, your boss may, everybody, your minister, your priest, your guru, they all may turn their backs on you tomorrow. But God will never, ever turn its back on you, because you are a part of God. And ultimately, we can learn to live it again. A little preaching there, I'm sure, but this is our inner simplicity and beauty, our divine nature, if you so choose, a never-ending flow of grace. We talk about grace. We sit in grace and peace, and there are certain circles who gather, and they can create that grace, that space of grace. All hearts sit in openness, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful heart resonance. I urge you to find those groups, those people who do that. And it has no opposition, and it cannot be destroyed. Impossible. It can be disrupted, but it cannot be destroyed. Grace cannot be destroyed. So here we are in the third dimension. Living life and choosing to live it in ways that we could do better. And be the beauty that we are, as we were truly and divinely created to be. And I'm looking forward to seeing each of you do that. And we'll know that each other does it, because all of that dissension, all of that turmoil, all of that fear will start to die down gradually. on the powers that be that want to keep that in focus so that they can get wealthier, or they can have their power struggle in their own ego mind, that they rule the world. And all of those insane thoughts will eventually lose their value, because people will start to recognize how much more productive and how much more sustainable we can be when we love each other. And this is where we're headed. And the other, about a couple of months ago, or yeah, I guess it was a couple of months ago, I wrote something and it just popped up on my page, and I'm going to read that in my closing. But I have my message at the end of what I wrote this morning was that you have a great ability, and even though you may not think you do, with all the stress and challenges you're facing, you have so much power to bring through for the change for everyone in the world, the homeless, the hungry, those who are being perpetrated, whose homes are being taken away from them, who are, being bullied, whether it's by weapons of mass destruction or it's just nasty words, doesn't matter. It's bullying. We're being bullied, we're being molested, whether it's sexually or physically, it doesn't matter. There's no difference. You see it, you know it, I know it. It's wrong. We shouldn't be doing this. Not that there's a should or a shouldn't, but it's just, this is insanity. This is pure insanity. And we have a right to choose not to live in insanity. So find some time, make some time to pull back from the front lines of the world and deepen your relationship with the beautiful being you truly are, and allow yourself to find, even if it's just a few moments of peace and contentment. And if you can find just those few moments, your next job is to try to make that a few more moments and a few more moments. So it's like planting a seed. We're planting seeds of hope, seeds of precious energy, so that others can tap into and recognize, hey, I'm in trouble. I need that place of peace. So I wanted to read this that I wrote in February, and it was obviously from another talk I did because it's here on my computer. I write so much I have no clue where I put it, where I do with it. But it's all relevant. It's all relevant for each of us to create the world around us that resonates with the world within us. So if you just quietly just settle down and close your eyes, if you will, take a deep breath. Feel the air, the water evaporating through your nostrils. And when you breathe out, feel the water coming in your breath out. We are water. Each one of us are one drop of water in a large ocean. And that ocean is made beautiful by each of us shining in the sun. And I bring these words to you. I choose to quietly see beyond what is appearing before me. I choose patience, knowing that my faith is held within it. I choose trusting in my greater self rather than living in fear. I choose to align perfectly with the abundance of the universe. I choose to let go of all that does not resonate with my heart. Take another deep breath. relax. I choose these deep moments of peaceful resonance, and all that is presenting itself before me or surrounding me. I choose that my most gracious energies be restored to their full strength and glory in order to become the observer and not the reactor. And as we choose these things, I want you to realize that when we learn to observe and take away and make a decision that this no longer serves me, we empower ourselves to make choices that are for the greater good of not only humanity, but all life forms here on planet Earth. And it's simple. It's within us, it's simple, and it's beautiful. Thank you, each one of you, for being here and showing up. I'm sorry I can't talk to you on the sidebar as I get so involved in what I'm saying. But I bless each and every one of you, and I wish you the best week of your life this week. Just choose differently. You are amazing beings, and God did not change its mind about you. And so too, align with that which you believe to be the creator or your divine guidance, however you choose to look at that. Tap into that. Know that that's who you really are representing in this little physical body. I love you. I thank you. And I respect you. Have a great week, all. We'll see you next Friday morning. Bye-bye.